Hey there, welcome back to our channel where we simplify design and make it accessible to everyone. Today, we are diving into something truly fascinating, the Wizard of Oz technique. The Wizard of Oz technique is a UX research method where users interact with a system or a prototype that appears fully functional, but in reality, a human is controlling the responses or the actions behind the scenes. It could be a designer or a researcher, usually. Its term comes from the classic story of The Wizard of Oz, where Dorothy and her friends think they are speaking to an all powerful wizard, but behind the curtain is just a regular guy who's pulling the strings. So, what is this Wizard of Oz technique and why is it used? To break it down, imagine you are designing a voice assistant. Instead of spending weeks or months building the AI backend, you can simulate the experience by having someone respond manually. The user is brought into the lab and made to interact with the system. The user thinks they are talking to a fully developed system, but in reality, there is a human behind the scenes making it all work. This approach is usually useful for testing new ideas, figuring out what works, and even uncovering what users really want. And plus, it's a very super cost effective technique. The biggest advantage of the Wizard of Oz technique is speed. It allows you to test complex interactions without building the entire system at once. Think of it as a way to explore possibilities without committing too early to the systems. It is also a great way to spot usability issues or understanding how users interact with new technologies. Let's be real, sometimes what users say they want and what they actually do can be two very different things. Now, this has been used by companies like Google and Amazon in the early stages of their product development. For instance, when Google was developing the Google Assistant, they used the Wizard of Oz technique to simulate AI responses. Users interacted with what felt like a fully functional system, but behind the scenes, researchers manually interpreted commands and provided the outputs. This method helped Google understand user expectations, refine interactions, and improve language processing. Similarly, Amazon also has applied this approach towards Alexa. It has focused on real world scenarios to ensure the device felt natural, intuitive, and ready for broader adoption. So if you have to set this Wizard of Oz technique, in an operational way, what are the steps that you have to follow? The first thing is you'll have to define your goals. What are you going to learn from the feedback that you get out of it? You will have to be very specific with the goals that you are planning to achieve. The second thing is you'll have to create a mock-up or a prototype which the users will use to interact. The third thing is you'll have to prepare your wizard. That is the person behind the scenes who is simulating the system. You'll have to train them very well. The fourth thing is you will start testing with the users. You will let them interact with the system that you have developed, and you will observe and you will gather the feedback. And the fifth thing is you will analyze and iterate. You will use what you have learned and then apply it in your designs and improve. And also remember, transparency is key. Always let your users know afterwards that it was a simulation. Ethical research practices always build trust. Now, let's move on towards understanding what are the common pitfalls that we need to avoid when we are making use of this tech. The first thing is do not overcomplicate the setup. Keep it very simple and make sure that your wizard is consistent. Inconsistent responses can confuse the users. And also, don't forget to analyze your findings thoroughly. The goal here should be to learn, not just to impress or just to make use of the technique. Okay, so there you have it, the Wizard of Oz technique. It's not just a UX trick, it's a powerful way to learn your users and refine your ideas without blowing your budget. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more UX tips and techniques. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep designing and keep innovating.